Hi, welcome to KTV News. Could you please introduce yourself?
My name's Diane Langford, and I'm a founder member of the Palestine Solidarity campaign.
I'm Glenn Bowman. I'm a professor of socio-historical anthropology at the University of Kent.
Donald Trump recently declared that the US government will recognise Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Could you explain what this means and touch briefly on the wider context?
Trump's so-called recognition of Jerusalem goes completely against the rule of law, against international law. What Trump's done is yet another attempt to make acceptable that the Israelis have the right to declare Jerusalem as their capital. This is not the case, and Jerusalem is just as much the capital of Palestine, and this is not being recognised, and the rights of the Palestinian people are not being recognised.
There are conflicting reports in the media on how to interpret this declaration. What should students keep in mind when seeing these varying reports? Do you see the situation as a matter for debate?
I don't really see it as a matter of debate as such. I would like to emphasise that the effect that this might have on Palestinians who live in East Jerusalem. It'll just intensify the extreme apartheid system within Jerusalem itself.
This is not going to make Jerusalem any more the capital of Israel than it is right now. America may move its embassy there. Do remember that the second thing that Trump did immediately on making these statements is to sign the waiver to once again postpone the movement of the embassy. So in a sense, it's a symbolic move on Trump's part, which doesn't mean it doesn't do an immense amount of damage. The fact that Israel has so occupied East Jerusalem and the Old City has really damaged the place quite substantially. So whether it's a formal capital or not, it is certainly a colonized territory with all of the kind of implications for the local populations.
Do you envision peace as a possibility for this conflict? And if so, how do you think it will be brought about?
How can you have peace when your land is being stolen, people are being dispossessed? And the only possible way forward I could see now towards peace is for the international community to do what it did in South Africa and put an end to this apartheid regime.
Prior to the British intervention in the area, there had been quite a bit of cohabitation between Christian, Jewish, and Muslim inhabitants of that territory. People lived together, and they can live together. There's nothing eternal about this struggle that's going on. What is going to work is countries may more and more decide to boycott the Netanyahu regime, the settler regime that's going on right now, and the more international boycott that goes on, the less viable Israel will become as a operative state, and the more it will begin to have to make certain kinds of moves towards peace. What is a probable solution is a one-state solution with full democratic rights for everybody. It is a possibility.
How can students and other ordinary people help?
Visibly support the boycott movement, promote BDS, talk to people, maybe even dare to make a trip out and see what's actually going on the ground there.
In the last few years, they've held an anti-apartheid week. It's very important to defend that because the Israeli embassy has been actively trying to stop universities from debating the issue, let alone holding anti-apartheid week events.
I disagree on the use of the word apartheid. Apartheid actually was the system of a white minority ruling over a substantial black majority, about 6-1. They desperately needed black labor, therefore they were quite vulnerable to resistance from that population. Israel has already replaced Palestinian labor. They don't need their Palestinians. They are more and more impoverishing them, not providing them with work, not allowing them into work. In a sense, this is a form of ethnic cleansing by economy.
Thank you again for coming, and this has been KTV News.